제21대 대통령 재외선거.
세계 어느 곳에 있어도
내가 국가대표라는 마음으로
누구보다 땀 흘리죠.
지금이 국가대표임을
보여줄 기회.
대한민국 국민의 권리
대한민국 국민의 의무
반드시
투표합니다. 국가를 위한 대통령 투표. 제21대 대통령 재외선거. 중앙선거관리위원회.
2025 celebrates the 80th anniversary of liberation. A place filled with culture, history, and diverse experiences. This is the Independence Hall of Korea. Upholding the values of the independence movement, and together with the whole nation, we will make Korea great. The Independence Hall of Korea.
Thanks for joining us on Arirang News. I'm Kim Dami in Seoul. The presidential race continues to heat up as the nation enjoys the last day of the long weekend. The Democratic Party's presidential frontrunner Lee Jae-myung is in the Chungcheong-do region, continuing his listening tour. He's also set to roll out pledges aimed at the younger generation later today. People Power Party candidate Kim Moon-soo is visiting Gyeongju this afternoon to tour the upcoming APEC summit site, with a stop in Daegu as well. Now, independent candidate and former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo held a media roundtable this morning to lay out his campaign vision, and will meet with fellow independent Lee Na-gyun, another former Prime Minister now in the race. Meanwhile, talks of a conservative merger are heating up. Kim met with PPP leadership late last night, but the two sides have yet to agree on how and when to move forward. In the U.S., President Donald Trump said he will soon announce tariffs on pharmaceutical imports. This follows his recent announcement of tariffs on overseas movies, as the U.S. leader expands the scope of his tariffs push. An Sung-jin has more.
U.S. President Donald Trump is to announce pharmaceutical-specific tariffs within the next 2 weeks. While speaking with reporters at the White House on Monday, Trump said that his country is being unfairly ripped off compared to other nations around the world. Speculation on pharmaceutical tariffs had been raised before, when the Trump administration directed the Commerce Department to investigate the effect of drug imports on national security. On the same day, Trump signed an executive order to incentivize drug manufacturing in the U.S. so pharmaceutical companies could build new production sites. This order pushes the Food and Drug Administration to reduce the approval time for manufacturing plants by eliminating unnecessary requirements, and directs the Environmental Protection Agency to assist the process of accelerating the construction of facilities. Other federal agencies issuing permits should also designate a single point of contact to coordinate applications. The announcement of potential levies has brought a stream of investment from drug makers, but some pharmaceutical companies have pushed back. Pfizer's CEO has said that the tariff threat will inherently deter the company from making further U.S. investments. U.S. manufacturing in the pharmaceutical industry has shrunk significantly in recent decades, with most of the production of ingredients being outsourced to other countries like China for lower labor costs. Earlier this week, Trump had made a social post saying that he will levy a 100% tariff on all movies coming into the U.S. that are produced from outside.
Our film industry has been decimated by other countries taking them out. And I'm not looking to hurt the industry. I want to help the industry. But they're given financing by other countries.
The White House said on Monday that it was figuring out how to comply with the president's wishes, as its deputy press secretary said that though no final decision on foreign film tariffs had been made, the administration is exploring all options to deliver on President Trump's directive. Implementation of these latest tariffs is unclear, but Trump's expansion of his tariff threats to the cultural sector is getting attention from stakeholders in and outside of the country. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
The Gaza war could be about to see even more intense fighting, as Israel's Security Cabinet on Monday approved a plan to expand its military operations in the Gaza Strip. Under the new Gaza war plan, unanimously approved by the cabinet on Sunday, there will be stronger strikes against Hamas to rescue the remaining hostages. To do that, Gaza's 2.1 million population will reportedly be relocated to Gaza's south. According to an Israeli official, the new plan won't begin until after U.S. President Donald Trump concludes his visit to the Middle East this month, which leaves a possibility that Israel might agree to a ceasefire in the meantime. The conclave to choose the next pope begins over in Rome on Tuesday local time. The coming conclave is expected to be the largest in history of the Catholic Church, with 133 cardinals from 70 countries set to gather in the Sistine Chapel. Smoke from the chimney at the end of the day shows whether there has been a decision, with black smoke if a new candidate has secured a 2/3 of majority, or white smoke if a new pope is selected. If a pope is not chosen after 3 days of voting, cardinals take a break from voting for up to 1 day for prayer. Now, it took 2 days to select Pope Francis back in 2013. Purchases of Korean beauty products through overseas shopping reached nearly $1 billion last year. According to Korea Customs Service on Tuesday, foreign consumers outside of Korea that have directly purchased from Korean e-commerce platforms have bought $973 million worth of K-beauty goods, including cosmetics or perfume. The figure has more than doubled compared to the year before, showing the increased popularity of Korean beauty products worldwide. Now, out of the 10 major categories of direct purchase items, including clothing, batteries, and others, K-beauty products take up the largest portion. Growers of fruits such as strawberries used to face problems in selling them overseas since they tended to spoil and decay easily. The Rural Development Administration, however, introduced a technique in 2019 that maintained their freshness. Cha Yun-kyung reports.
Since 2021, the Rural Development Administration has used a controlled atmosphere technique to maintain strawberries' freshness for export markets. The technique does this and delays spoiling and decay by removing oxygen while increasing levels of other preservative gases. Introducing the CA technique allowed growers to increase their shipments and also use container ships for exports as opposed to just air transport. This saved distribution costs of up to 16 billion Korean won. The simultaneous complex management technique removes air from containers and introduces carbon and chlorine dioxides. The former gives strawberries a firmer texture, while the latter prevents mold infestation. This decreases decay of the strawberries by up to 20%.
We can deliver high-quality products, and we can send as much as we can, since the technique can maintain the freshness of the fruit.
The RDA spread the related technology to 16 export centers for strawberries as overseas shipments increased massively due to the introduction of the technology. The amount rose fivefold from 2007's 986 tons to 5,012 tons in 2024.
We received a great response from importers and consumers, with strawberries being sold out within 4 days at markets they are shipped to.
The RDA is continuing to integrate management models to systemize the exports of strawberries. Cha Yun-kyung, Arirang News.
That is all we have for this afternoon. We will be back later at 6 p.m. Korea time. Until then, goodbye.
Welcome to the Globalists. Welcome to the Globalists.